All right, y'all, welcome back. Another episode, New Life Furniture. You know who it is. It's your boy Kyle with another project, another Craigslist find. A real old beauty, this one. You can see we got some real cool features on this one. Big 4x4 posts, oak tabletop, and really been used heavy. So I think when we do our typical white paint bottom, glossy white, and we're gonna sand down the top and really expose that wood. We'll see if we do that chocolate stain as usual. Last couple videos we've been doing that, or maybe we'll go back with that mineral oil. I'm excited to see how this one's gonna turn out because it's so well used. I think there's gonna be a lot of accents that are gonna make me think, do I go with mineral oil and keep that natural look? Or do I go with that chocolate stain and get real farmhouse distressed look that everyone loves so much? So let's go ahead. What we're gonna do first is flip this thing over, take our spray paint can and put about 3 layers of white glossy paint over that bottom part. I've already sanded a little bit to expose it, and let's get going. Time is money. Okay, so we just finished our 3rd coat, nice and heavy on that last coat. First 2 coats, simple, light, just to get a good base down. On that 3rd coat, you'll start seeing it really gather up good color, and you can go a little bit thicker and work the paint a little bit more. Like I said, we didn't want to go too much overspray to make more work for ourselves, but once you use, like I said, either some tape or you can use a little deflector like a piece of cardboard or plastic, and you can kind of cut off most of the overspray, but that doesn't matter. We're going to grind that out anyways with the sandpaper. What's up? What's going on? We're back today. It's going to be sanding day today. So we got our belt sander, 60 grit belt paper on top there, and we're ready to go. We got this table all painted, so all we got to do is sand that top. We got that fresh cup of coffee, leaf in. We also got another table we're gonna grind at the same time, so try to get 2 videos done at once. And yeah, so let's keep going, man, because this takes time, and we got that rain, West Coast rain coming pretty soon. So let's go ahead, 60 grit, belt sand, go with the grain. See how that grain, you can see it's running up? So that's the way we're sanding, up and down, all the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that and see how it looks. Now you'll see here we got a couple of like crack lines. I guess this table maybe got wet and it was expanding and contracting and opened up to a couple of crack lines. Some people want to leave that and, you know, add to that rusticness. I think for us, here, I'll flip that into landscape so you guys don't hate the view. I think for us, we're gonna want to try to fill that in. So we got some wood filler here, and we're just gonna take our spatula or our scraper, whatever you call these little things, take some, put it into that cuts and grooves, and scrape it off and put it in nice and light, let it dry overnight, and then go ahead again with the 60 grit, sand it down, and then we'll be able to stain the whole thing. So let's go ahead and fill some of these gaps. Okay, y'all, so we went ahead, put it together, gave it a final sand on all the edges. As you can see, I'm already bleeding. Hey, you gotta work hard for that money. Anyways, you're gonna distress, as I said, on all those little spots. Make sure you just hit it lightly first. right? Don't over distress because you can't undistress. It's always better to lightly distress everything and then hit it more and keep adding layers, layers. So that's like anything. If you put stain on, if you put paint on, if you distress with your sandpaper, less is more. So always make sure you lightly do everything, because you can always do more than go backwards and wish you had less, right? So we got all that done. Looks good, y'all, looks good. So final thing we're gonna do is just let that wood filler dry out, sand that off, and then we're gonna do our Jacobine from Mini Wax stain over the whole thing. See how it looks. Clear coat it with our polyurethane from Mini Wax as well. And boom, we'll be ready to go. Ooh, she works hard for the money. Ba-ba-da. She works hard for the money. Ba-ba-da. Okay, y'all, so still working on our table here. We had a couple of these little tips for the leaves that hold in the leaves that go into the holes here. They were already broken, so we drilled them out, okay? Got rid of the old ones and exposed the hole. You can go to any type of Rona, Home Depot, and you find little dowels, they're called. If you want, you can get them in metal. Some of the higher end stores will have them in metal, or some are just in wood here like this. You take them, okay? They fit in the holes. You cut them down to size, okay? So that they're almost like little halfers, because this is really probably only about that much, okay? So you'll cut it and then put your leaf back and forth, get the nice sizing, and then take your sander or any sandpaper, okay? And then you just sand it down so that you get a nice kind of tapered edge and nice and smooth, and it fits in nice and tight. And then what I'm doing is we're taking some No More Clamp wood glue, putting it all over the end here, and we're just gonna get some into that hole, okay? And we're just gonna twist, make sure we got a lot on there, okay? Make sure it's all really in there. Good stuff. Yeah, there you go. Enough where you can hear it suction and seal it in. Give it another little twist, make sure it's all coated. Looks like it's not moving. And then give it a little wipe down. Okay. And take your cloth and just wipe down the excess. Okay. And that's about it. As easy as that. 1, 2, 3, and you're good to go. Let it dry overnight, 24 hours, and then keep working. Okay, so we got the dowels glued in overnight. We got the wood filler sanded down. Make sure you guys really spend good time on your wood filler when you're sanding it. Make sure you get as much of it off as you can, okay? If you leave some in some of the cracks and you do a sloppy job, you want to get as much of that wood filler out as possible, because the stain never really adheres. You'll always kind of see the wood filler, so you really want to spend a little bit more time on that to make sure you get rid of as much as possible and make sure it's a good job. And we went out and got a bigger can of our Jacobine Mini Wax. You can find this at Rona. I don't think Home Depot sells it anymore. In the States or around the world, I'm not sure where you'd find it, but this is a great product. Mini Wax is really good. So that's what I'm using for my stain, if you don't know yet. And I'm also using the Mini Wax polyurethane clear coat gloss for everything else, because it gives a really good coat. I find Mini Wax good company. If they want to sponsor me, go ahead. Yeah, now we got these things set up, ready to go. We dusted it all off. We're just ready to grab our stain. We're gonna go from the bottom up first, because as you know, I like to finish off on the top. That's the most important part, I think. So I always wanna make sure that's absolutely perfect. So we're gonna rub the legs down, wipe it all off, get to the top, rub the stain down, wipe it off, let it dry. Key thing, you gotta let it dry for 24 hours at least to really let it soak in and get a good dry before you put your polyurethane clear coat on. Otherwise you'll get bubbles and weird spots, and it just won't look good if you're trying to rush. So don't rush, do a good job. Try to save time where you can, like I told you guys, in the other aspects. But at the very end, when you've done all the hard work, Now the time you want to make sure you do everything correct, and this is where you get the money right here, guys and girls. So, yeah, we're gonna basically do both of these because it's about to rain this afternoon, so you'll probably see 2 videos with me flipping on various ends. But let's go ahead, pop that off, throw on the stain, and show you guys how it looks. So we got the sides already all done, mini wax, Jayco bean stain all over it, rubbed off with our clean rag. Make sure you get into all the crevices and everywhere. Got them all done. Now let's see how it looks as we add it to our top. So, little rag, get some of that on there, nice heavy coat. And let's see how this looks. Ooh, really soaking it up. We did a good sanding job. Nice job. Get more of this out here. Good. Make sure you guys really add it nice and thick. Get into all those grooves. And let's see how this is turning out so far. Yeah. You know? Whew. Sometimes I like to just do it like this for a second, you know? Get it on there, step back and be like, ooh, what's that gonna look? Ooh, that is gonna look good, y'all. Let's go ahead, finish up, rub it all down, wipe it all away, and let it dry. Okay, and now the final last bit, putting your clear coat on your top. This is my favorite part. It just is the most satisfying to see the rich colors and all that hard work come together and know that you're almost done and another project complete. So let's go ahead and take our brush, get a nice, like I said, big thick coat, put it on like I do, X's. Whole bunch of X's everywhere. Make sure it gets really in the grooves. Make sure you put on a nice big coat. Get your edges, okay? Get your edges. Get your edges. And make sure you get underneath, okay? Make sure you get a nice little thin coat underneath. That way, it feels good if they got to move it or do something or ever have to touch that bottom part. And that's how we want to do it. So let's go ahead, put that clear coat over the whole thing and finish up this project. All right, look at that. Look at that sheen off of it. Check it out, y'all. Look at that. When you get that gloss like that, oh man, that fires you up. This table was an absolute pleasure. And look at that. Look at that real nice gloss to it. That's why I like that polyurethane. Real thick, crystal clear coat. No amber tint to it. Oh man, and this thing is gonna be looking good. Woo-wee! Project done. Let's show you guys the before and after. Let's go.